Now this road I like. Hello folks, before it gets too much like a driving video, I thought stop in this lay-by and show you Fovant Badges. So we've got a sign telling us what they are, so from right to left we've got the Devonshire Regiment, Centenary Flanders Poppy 2016, 8th City of London Battalion, London Regiment, 5th City of London Battalion, London Regiment, Wiltshire Regiment, Royal Corps of Signals, Australian Commonwealth Military Forces, 6th City of London Battalion, City of London Rifles 1916, and then the Royal Wiltshire Yeomanry 1951. And this tiny writing is telling us Fovant was chosen in 1915 as the site of an army training camp which housed up to 20,000 soldiers at any one time. The soldiers came here for final training before they went to France. The camp was in the fields all around the viewing point, and while they were here they built their regimental insignia on the hillside. There we go, Fovant Badges on the A30 west of Wilton. I made it to Old Wardour Castle. I didn't come in the van. I seem to remember from quite a few years back when I last came, the roads were very narrow, and I think the video proved they were. Also low hanging branches. And I left the van at home, so a little run out in the motor. Anyway, going to go in and have a look around and I'll give you a sneak preview before I go and check in. Right, I've checked in. I used to work here about 5 or 6 years ago. They got a nice new shop since, so that's a welcome sight. Very nice inside there. Might get an ice cream later. There we go, that's the first sight of it. There are some kids in today from a school outing. Try and avoid those. So that's the first look, and we'll have a wander around the outside. The Wonder of the West, it calls this. It was a unique and sophisticated residence whose destruction has left a picturesque ruin. John Lord Lovell built the striking hexagonal castle in the 14th century as a luxury residence. 3 generations of Lovells visited until it was confiscated by Edward IV during the Wars of the Roses, 1455 to 85. In the 16th century, the Arundel family bought Wardour. They upgraded the castle into a fortified Elizabethan mansion, described in 1596 as the Wonder of the West. Less than 100 years later, the English Civil War came to Wardour. The Arundels lost the castle and were only able to recapture it after causing it significant damage. In the 18th century, Henry, Lord Arundel, and his wife Mary used the ruined castle as a picturesque landscape feature for New Wardour Castle, their new country house. We're now starting to see some of the damage caused at the end of the Civil War. This castle is also used for weddings out in the middle of the countryside, and that is where you have the reception. There can be a little chapel in there, reception room, drinks, food. Got the lake just next to that. Go and have a look and see if there's anything in there. And then as we come round the gardens, I think this view, you've got the full width. Look at that. A picturesque ruin. The castle was never rebuilt after its destruction in the Civil War, but its ruined state became a fashionable accessory in the new English landscape style. In 1763, Henry VIII, Baron of Arundel, married Mary Conquest, a wealthy gentlewoman from a Lincolnshire family. Within a year, they had recruited the landscape designer Richard Woods, and they began work on a grand new scheme. This included a new country house, New Wardour Castle, built by the architect James Payn in 1770, a lake, stone grotto, and a banqueting house, all set within a landscape of fields, woods, and gardens. We're in a bit of an ante-room, just on the end of the seating area. Getting a bit more history about when it was turned into an Elizabethan mansion. Time to have a look inside, I think. We can see an outline on the floor, and this shows us the octagonal shape of the castle, but also how much has disappeared from these walls. chimney places feeding up to the other levels. I think the kids have just retreated, well, mostly. So this is the central area with well. That is actually very green, that stone. I see some stairs. It would be rude not to. Massive fireplace. You can see it says the Great Hall here. Ceremonial heart of the castle. Used on feast days when the Lord and Lady dined here with the whole household. The grandest room of the castle. Walls were being covered in painted decoration and rich wall hangings. Wooden panelling was added in the 16th century. Looking back down to the visitor centre. This is the Great Chamber. Great Chamber was the more private space for dining and entertaining. A dinky fireplace in this room. Looks like there might have been stairs up there. Massive fireplace there. Yep, this is the kitchen. Well, when I say massive fireplace, the one that behind me, this is all fireplace. The whole width of the room, funneling up to chimneys up the top. Is the buttery. Beer and wine was stored here in barrels. Servants could then pour the drinks into beakers made of leather, wood, pottery or even glass and take it directly to the guests in the hall. There's a racket going on outside, really annoying. I think I'm on the second floor now. Getting to have some good views across the countryside. And there's more. This says lodgings. Made it up to, I think this was the 4th floor. We've got no roof here, but I think there might be another one. Not a bad view of the countryside, Wiltshire countryside and the lake. And just coming into the centre of shot now in the distance is New Wardour Castle. or I think they call it Wardour Castle. So that one was built as a country mansion, and this was the folly. Everybody needs a folly. This is just next to the entrance, so I guess this is a guard's room. Well, that's the guard's room, the other side. And it said there would have been a portcullis gate at this end and at the other end for you to get past. A plaque there which is illegible, and a coat of arms and a statue just above that. These are nice, sort of scallop shells, a couple of alcoves just to the left of the main entrance. There we go, it's coming away from that. That was very smart. Apart from the school group who were following me around and making a racket, and the tree cutters. There's one more thing to go and have a look at, just opposite the entrance, which is just in front of me here. I might have said before that Lord Lovell built Old Wardour as a medieval show castle designed to impress. He was an experienced soldier whose marriage to Maud Holland, a relative of Richard II, brought him close to the royal court. His power and status grew throughout Richard's reign, and in 1393 the king gave Lovell a licence to crenellate. Oh, I love that. Giving him permission to build fortified castles. I want one of those. Licence to crenellate, please. £5 to you, sir. So that's the visitor centre and shop. They've got quite a nice area there for kids, or maybe if they have weddings they can use that as well for sitting under shelter. As part of the 18th century landscaping, a number of features were added to enhance the estate. The Arundels already had their romantic ruined castle, but they were missing one fashionable feature, a grotto. Artificial grottos were introduced to England in the 17th century, and they became an essential component of luxury landscape gardens in the 18th century. The first grotto, behind the admissions building, was built in 1770. Masons took stones from the ruined castle and built 2 seats set in natural stone alcoves. In 1792, local designer Josiah Lane built a larger grotto in front of you. His design allowed visitors to explore dark corridor-like caves with views of the castle through rough windows. And I haven't mentioned it, but you might well have guessed. There are some chaps there you might recognise. Kevin Costner and Morgan Freeman, taking a break while filming here. And of course they were here to film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So pretty much done all of that. Just one last look around the, I suppose it's northwestern side, which I haven't looked at yet. Kids are gone. The strimmer is still going, hedge cutter. So we'll have a look at that and then go and have an ice cream, I think.